Today's lesson is equivalent fractions. Equivalent means, here is equivalent, and it means equal fractions. Equivalent parts means equal parts, that they worth the same or they have the same shape or size. So if I have this apple and I want to cut it into two equal parts, we call each part half. So we write half as 1/2 and a line in the middle, and we call this a fraction. So basically a fraction means a part of a whole something. So now if I want to cut this apple into two equal parts, two halves, and I decided to eat the first half like this, as it is. I decided to eat it as one piece. But the second half, I decided to cut it into 2/4. Now, each quarter is 1/4. So here I have 2/4 and they equal 1/2. Look at this picture. This is my apple. I cut it into two equal parts, two halves. And if I cut the halves into each half into another half, I will get quarters. Here is a quarter, here is a quarter, and here is a quarter. Now, how many quarters do we have for one apple? We can cut it into 4 equal quarters here. So, this half equals how many quarters? It equals 2/4. So, we write it as this: 1/2 equals 2/4. And this is this fraction here, it's 1/2. And this fraction here is 2/4. Now they are equal, they worth the same. So 1/2 and 2/4 are equal because this half is the same as these two. It's not bigger, not smaller. So 2/4 is equivalent with 1/2. And we call these two fractions equivalent. So here, if someone says these are two pieces is larger than one piece, is that true? You would say, of course not. Look, here we have half an apple. Half an apple is written as 1/2, 1/2. But here we have 2/4. 2/4 are written as 2/4 or 2/4 quarters. So this half an apple equals these two pieces, 2/4. And we call 1/2 equivalent or equivalent with 2/4, with 2/4 or 2/4. Now look here. 1/2 is the same amount as 2/4. Why? Because this is one part of chocolate. So let me choose the chocolate color, and that should be here. So this is like chocolate, all right? Or maybe this color. So this bar of chocolate, it's one whole bar. Now if I cut it into two equal parts, we call each part a half, and we write it as 1/2 or 1/2. If I cut each half into another half, I will get 2/4 for each half. Why? Why not 1/2 again? Because this whole is now cut into 4 equal parts, and each part is called a quarter. So if you see here, this half is the same as these 2 quarters. Again, we write it as 1/2 equals 2 quarters. So look at this example. We have here different shapes: a circle, a square, and a triangle. The circle is we have half of the circle colored. But the square, we have only 1/4 colored. The triangle has half of it colored too. So here we have 2/4 colored, here we have 1/2 colored. But 1/2, and here we have 1/2. So 1/2 here equals 2/4. It's represented in 2/4. So again, 2/4 equal 1/2. 2 out of 4 equals 1 out of 4. So let me give you an example, a last one. So these fractions are equivalent. Okay. And here we have a bar again, and this bar has 4 parts, 4 equal parts. We call them quarters. And how many of these quarters colored? We have 2 quarters colored. And it's half, exactly half the bar. So 2 out of 4 equals 1/2. Now let me give you an example here. I'm giving you 2 shapes, and you send me in Teams if these are equivalent fractions or not. I have this rectangle. It's cut into 2 halves. And I have colored 1/2. And the other rectangle, it's the same as the first one. I had cut it into 4 equal parts, 4 quarters, all right? But I colored only 1/4. So here I have 1/4, and here I have 1/2. Look, half here is the same as half this one. But I have colored the first half here, and I have colored only 1/4 here. Do we say these 2 fractions equivalent? Are they equivalent? This is my question. If you know the answer, you send me. If yes, they are, send me yes. And this message keeps going. All right. Are they equivalent? Okay, so let me here ask you this question. And again, I'm drawing these 2 equal or same rectangles. The first one has been cut into 2 halves. The second one has been cut into 4 quarters. So here I have colored 1/2, and the other one there is 1/4 colored or shaded. Are they equivalent? Let me write equivalent here, or equal. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.